Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Oh, yes. We back. We back in this thing like a wedgie, baby. It's a hot 7025fm.com, and I am your main man, 360 the Poet, and this is Holla at the Homie, your number one advice line online or in person. Whether you want to call us up or send us emails or send us letters by a snail mail, you let me know how you want to make it happen, and we'll get these conversations had for you right here on the hottest station in all of radio, hot 7025fm.com. Like I said, we back in this thing today. We got a good one today, too, y'all. We got a real hot topic today. This is one that's going to hit home for a few people that I know. Maybe not necessarily for myself, but it may hit home for some that I know. And we're going to talk about them in just a little bit. But I want to first of all thank our sponsors as always. Today's shirt was again sponsored by Shop Blinged Out. That's right. My sister, a.k.a. my homegirl, a.k.a. the designer of this particular shirt. Shop Blinged Out is the homegirl Mar Nicole out there making sure I stay fresh right here on the airwaves each and every week. So if you got something you want to send me, go ahead and send me something up here. Frazier Kid Productions, I need one of y'all T-shirts. It's cool to be smart. I need one of y'all T-shirts. James Pitts Jr., I know I got some black excellence I'm going to wear on next week's show that I'm going to pump up for you, James, because I see you on there listening and paying attention and watching right now, and we're going to make sure. Who you with? I see that WY. That's a new little act. I like that, James. You smart, man. You smart, and you from Memphis, too. That's what I'm talking about. Memphis. One town. They facing my Lake Show tonight. It's a pivotal game for the Memphis Grizzlies tonight against the Lake Show tonight. And they talk about making easy money, pimping hoes in style. But we're going to see what they doing tonight against that Lake Show. So, but right again, we're going to get off sports and we're going to come back to what we're talking about right now, which is the hottest show on all of radio, internet, or live. So it's right here, Holla at the Homie, with your main man, 360 the Poet, better known as the Atmosphere Pioneer, greater than most, less than none. What we do here at this show is we break down some of the best topics that people can come up with. People call in, they email us, they send us letters and things of that nature, and they try to get to the bottom of it. You know, I always like to give my disclaimer. I have never been clinically trained. I've never been educated in any way, shape, form, or fashion as far as paying for school and tuition and learning how to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or a professional advice giver. But through life's experiences and also living vicariously through others, I have developed this knack for being able to re-deliver it to the people, what needs to be said and what needs to be heard. So with that being said, we're going to point out and shout out a couple of our listeners that check in with us each and every week. What's up, Donovan? Glad to see you back on this thing. Cool meal in this thing like a wedgie as always. Babe out there, what's up with you? Lucy Lowe. James Little Slim with the tilted brim out there. Frazier Kid, what's up, Brain? Who you with, y'all? I love to see my family, my friends out there chiming in, checking in with us right here at hot7025fm.com. If you yourself want to get a question answered on the show, all you have to do is either hit us up at hot7025fm.com and in the subject line, holla at the homie, or you can hit me directly at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLAATTHAHOMIE. Holla at the homie. That's me. So if you want to do that, send me the letter in, and we'll get you. That's right. Again, we'll get you taken care of right here on the spot. So that is for all of our listeners and for all of our sponsors. So we're going to get right into it today, y'all. Like I said before, we got a good letter that I had a chance to read today. This one was sent to me a little while ago, and I must have looked over it, passed it up in the archives, but I guess everything happens in its due time and on its perfect day and everything like that. Big shout out to the homegirl. Well, I ain't going to say her real name because she wanted to go by Ahava, which means love in Hebrew. Yeah, she said she wanted to go by Ahava today. I wasn't supposed to tell her gender, but she said she wanted to stay anonymous, but I went ahead and spoiled that moment right there. But it's going to say right here, it says, "What's up, homie? I'm not going to hold you up too long. I am in the middle of a situationship that has me really confused about my feelings. I have been in a committed relationship for almost 2 years, and I truly love my partner. We're at the point in our relationship where we have been throwing the M word around, and in parentheses, there's the word marriage, in our discussions, all of which I am okay with, or shall I say I am not against. My only problem is that I have this quote unquote friend who has been around since before my partner and I got together, and they periodically reappear in my life from time to time. This long-standing friendship is nothing more than a situationship that I have, developed with someone who I've been dealing with for a long time. They have their own thing going on as well, and we have always known and had a solid understanding until recently they let me know that the proposal was in the horizon for their equation also. Now that marriage is on the menu for not only me, but for my side piece as well, my little feelings are all over the place. So my question for you is, homie, can you truly love someone and still be cheating? Sincerely, stuck in the middle, Ahava. Ooh. Now what you said, Ahava? Ahava asked the question, and that hit right in the heartbeat right there. That said, can you love someone and still be cheating? Now first, I want to remove myself from the equation again. I always want to make sure I'm clarifying. I'm speaking from an objective perspective. I'm never going to tell you what to do, but I can tell you what might work in a situation that you're facing. But it's a couple of questions that I must address first, and I got to ask to you, Ahava. First, who do you feel is being cheated on? That's the first question I want to ask you. Do you feel like you're being cheated on by your by your side piece because they've developed true feelings for their real significant other? Or do you feel like you're cheating on your significant other because you still have feelings, real feelings for your side piece, even though you say it's a situationship? Or do you feel like you're cheating everybody out of the situation because nobody's being honest and telling how they really feel about each other? Well, I can't say nobody's being honest because I can't say whether your significant other is on board or not. But with that being said, so you have to ask yourself that, like, who's being cheated on? Who do you feel like it's being led in the wrong direction? And first of all, what do you consider cheating? Well, I guess, in this situation, yes. But are you cheating because you still have thoughts about that person, or are you able to cut it off? Or you got to ask yourself, are you willing to dive off of that diving board and really into the world that you have developed with your significant other? Is that something that you're really ready to stand on? You say that you're not against it. By looking at your letter, I'm saying it says that all of which I'm okay with, or shall I say I'm not against. That's a couple of flags for me right there, first and foremost, Ahava. Because you never really said you were on board with your significant other. So in my estimation, or my guesstimation based off what I'm reading, is I feel like your perspective may be the one where you feel like you're being cheated on by your side piece. And is that an oxymoron, or is that something where, people get caught up in their feelings and they think that, they've got the answer with the one person who they're with now? Like we were having this discussion, my wife and I were saying, like, she was like, when people say, what is the one? Like, I thought they might have been the one. And it kind of confused me when she said that, because, I didn't really understand where she was coming from with it until she clarified and said, like, not like, like we're not the one for each other, but how would people just be guessing that in the beginning, trying to find out whether or not somebody is the one, but they're already in a situation with them where they feel like they're developing these feelings for someone who is that person? So you have to first and foremost decide on whether or not you are really on board 100% before you start saying, like, okay, the marriage word is going to be brought into the equation, saying that you're considering being with this person for the rest of your life, but you're still having feelings or outside relations with someone who apparently was actually obvious that you really have the true feelings for. Because I don't think that you really would have questioned this until it came to the forefront that they themselves might be moving on from you. And that's what you have to ask you. You have to put yourself into the corner, like, look in the mirror and say, hey, what am I doing? Why am I here? Like in the song I've chosen for today's What You Said segment is a song written by Drake, but it was performed and sang by Alicia Keys. And the first line in it is moment of honesty. That's the first thing that she says in the song, moment of honesty. And we'll dive back into that in a little bit later because I still got to hit a couple more points based off, the questions that you have for me. What do you think is the cheating ratio? Like, I mean, where do you feel like somebody is somebody winning more, somebody losing more? Because again, most of the time people feel like they're being cheated as if they don't feel like there's an equal portion being given out. A good business deal is when it's a win-win for everybody, right? So, and if everybody's not winning, then is somebody cheating the other one? Is somebody getting over on the other person? So where do you feel, Ahava? These are the questions you can ask yourself. Excuse me. These are questions you can ask yourself. Where do you feel the cheating or the imbalance is actually coming from? In my opinion, again, I'm not judging. It's just an opinion I'm giving you because you asked me for it. In my opinion, what you're doing is you're cheating yourself out of finding the real answers in which you're seeking. Because you're wondering what this person's doing on side A and how this person's feeling on side B. And I put side A as your side piece because in essence, you're making both of your people's side pieces. It's just you're living with one, or you're dwelling with one, or cohabitating with one, or you're in a relationship with one and a situationship with the other. But I put your side piece as your A because according to your letter, that's where your feelings are connected. So again, back to my original point, I feel like if there's any cheating going on, it's you might be cheating yourself out of the real answers in which you seek. You need to ask, your side piece. Like I said, Alicia Keys said in the song, moment of honesty. Someone's got to take the lead tonight. Who's it going to be? Are you going to be the person that's going to take the lead, Ahava, and say, look, hey, babe, I'm seeing somebody else on the side, and I know we've been talking about getting married and making this thing solid, but I wanted to let you know that I'm still having feelings elsewhere, but I do love you. Like, that's the question you're asking. Can you love somebody and still cheat? Can you truly love someone and still cheat? So I said the first question you must ask is who's being cheated? Where's the cheating being, derived from? Because then you got to understand if you're cheating your significant other, then can you love them? Are you really loving them if you're investing so much of more of your heart and other parts towards your side piece? So are you cheating your significant other? But then again, my point again, I feel like you're cheating yourself because you don't seem as if, according to your letter, as if you're ready to decide. And if you're not making decisions, then you're putting not only yourself on hold, but everybody else on hold because you're waiting to make the decision on whether or not, okay, I'm going to be with this person, I'm going to be with that person, or I'm going to let my heart go, or I'm going to let this side piece go. Because what is it about the side piece? Is it the sex? Is it the companionship? Is it the way they make you feel? And why are you with your significant other? Is it the convenience of it? So these are questions like, I can't really say whether you can love somebody and still cheat. You have to ask yourself, are you truly loving them? Or are they just coexisting? Okay, I've got an interesting point coming from somebody coming in my comments. It says, I believe you absolutely can still love someone and cheat. There are levels to love. However, the cheatee has every right to not love that type of love. Exactly. That's a piggyback off what I was just saying. Like, is everybody informed of what's going on? You have to give everybody the opportunity to say they're okay with being loved that way. And if they're still going to rock with you. Because if not, then you're being, cheating is one thing, but then it's dishonesty on top of cheating, because you're a cheater and a liar at that point. So who, are you willing to open up to that other person and take the risk of losing them? Or are they going to be like Puffy on the beginning of a Mario Winans song? Nights full of these thoughts. Like every night they thinking about, like, damn, are they with that other person? Or if they not with them, they're not answering the phone right away. So you have to think about these things. And if they're okay with being loved that way, then by absolutely all means, yes, you can still love them, because they're willing to accept that love and they're reciprocating that love back to you. They're willing to receive the love you're giving them. And that's what you have to be honest with yourself and everybody in the equation. Is your other person willing to say, well, I don't know if I'm going to tell my significant other about what we got going on. I don't know if I'm ready to rock with them like that. I don't know if I'm ready to let that break down. So now you got a 3 out of 4 situation. 75%, yeah, that may be a passing grade, but you're not shining. Is everybody on board for that? And if they're not, then is this a situation you want to keep yourself in? Do you want to stay in this? Because there's happiness for you per se, whether it's falsified happiness or whether it's something in your mind where you've created your own alternate happiness. But if happiness isn't a 360, if it's not a 360 type of activity, then it's not true happiness. It's not continuous. It won't go on. There's a chink in the chain. So how long will it last? It depends on how long that cycle is willing to. Is it going to move fast? Is it going to go slow? And are you going to have to do this all over again with somebody else? Is that person on the side ever wanting to be with you? And if they're not, then why are you investing that much of your heart into them? These are all questions, because if you're cheating yourself, then does that mean, can you love yourself and cheat yourself? If you're willing to be loved that way by you. How many of y'all willing to swallow the pill and say, yep, I took the blue pill. This is the route I'm going. No turning back. This is my realm in my matrix. But if it's got all this dishonesty and cheating involved in it, then it's going to continue to give you that flat tire. Doom, 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 doom. It's no smooth rotation in the tire, because there's somebody that's missing something. If everybody's on board, then the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. But if you got one person that's still on the bus stop and everybody else is on the bus, then it's not harmonious. So, however, I'm going back to your letter. It says, this person reappears periodically in your life. So again, there's another question about the amount of cheating. Are they cheating you out of your time? Are they cheating you out of your true ability to really love the person that you're with? Ask yourself that. Ask them that. Like, what's up? Are we doing this or no? You got to ask yourself or no sometimes. Another question is, I see here where you put into, like, where your name is love in Hebrew, like you put ahava, meaning love in Hebrew. So that I'm a real big believer in words mean something. People choose words and verbiage to mean something. And to me, that particular says you're based on love. So are you just cheating yourself out of the love that you're giving you? Don't do that. I mean, if anything, I can say don't do that. You never want to cheat yourself, because if you're doing that, then everybody else sees that as an example how to be able to treat you as well. You give people the blueprint on how you're to be treated. It took me a while to realize that, like, people treat you how you let them. So if people treat you how you treat other people. Karma's a boomerang. You get back what you throw out. A lot of ways that you don't really know about. So what are you putting on, what message in the bottle are you putting on your boomerang in the world of love, Ahava? Again, since that's the base of who you are, is love, right? So ask yourself that question. Am I loving me enough to say, hey, enough is enough? Or, hey, this is what I am, this is who I am, this is how I'm going to be for now or forever. Because that's the thing about life. It's constantly changing. There's ebbs and flows of life. The tide comes in and goes out of life. So what are you willing to accept? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to produce into the world as how people are going to treat you or how you treat people? These are real questions that a lot of us are scared to ask ourselves. I know I've been scared to ask myself a lot of these questions that I'm able to say live online to all of y'all, but when it's nobody knows where the nose goes when the doors close. That's one of my favorite sayings. So these questions as they come to me, I'm thankful that people are willing to step outside of their closet and bring some of it to mine. My closet is online, and we got a lot of viewers, listeners worldwide, and got viewers right now going on and things of that nature, but they're allowing a part of their closet to be exposed. And I'm thankful for people allowing me the opportunity to be able to expose these things for you. Ahava, I appreciate you for sending me this letter. Another question that you asked on here, or a point that you made pointing on here, was the fact that I wanted to ask you about another part of the cheating realm, because you said that they in themselves are now considering marriage proposal in their equation. So now ask yourself this: is this a ploy for them to get you to consent to their will? Because they know if they say, you know what, well, I'm about to get married too, then that means you're going to bounce right back to them. So again, are they cheating you out of the opportunity to grow in the area in which you want to grow? I spoke one time about how, people are like trees. We both may be planted similar roots, but I may be a redwood and you may be an oak tree. So yeah, I may tower way above you, but you may produce more fruit and more, you may have more nuts than me per se, for lack of better phraseology. So don't look at another tree and say like, well, why is that tree going the way they are? You got to look at what type of tree you are. And if that person is trying to overshadow you, or they trying to outgrow you, or you think that you're growing in a different direction, then that's perfectly fine, because you're being who you are, being true to yourself, not cheating you, and not allowing them to cheat you out of the time that it seems as if they're trying to manipulate. Manipulation is cheating. You said that they said marriage is a proposal on their menu. Now, besides them asking that and saying, or if it's true, are they telling you this to sever the ties with you? Or are they telling you this to say, hey, somebody else is thinking about me like your significant other's thinking about you. What are we going to do? Because it appeared, I wish I had a second letter from your side piece to see how they feel about the whole equation, because that may help. To be honest, I think y'all may end up together based off my experience through life and dealing with different people and having situations with relationships that come into this, whether it be a quote unquote tit for tat, or whether it be a tug of war of love or lug of war. People always have the opportunity to inject themselves into a situation if they know that you're going to care about what they're doing, what they're saying, or how they're feeling. So if they know one of those things, that you care about what they're doing, what they're saying, or how they're feeling, then for them to say something is going to see how you feel. So ask yourself, are they trying to cheat you? Are you being cheated on that side? Because we know off top, yes, you're cheating on your significant other. Okay, we got that. That's, nail, hammer, boom. But that's not the totality of the cheating that's going on here. You cheating yourself? Is the other person that, who you're cheating with, are they cheating you out of opportunities? And yes, we know they're cheating on their significant other. But then you got to ask, are you feeling this way because maybe now you feel your significant may be having an inkling of an understanding of what you're doing, and now they're doing their dance too? That's another question you can ask yourself. That's the real big question. Who's doing what to whom? 5 letters. 5 little letters make a whole big explanation of different things. Cheat. C-H-E-A-T. Yeah, I counted it right. C-H-E-A-T. 5 little letters mean so many different things and are accepted and received differently by so many different people. One of my partners stopped playing golf with me sometimes last year. He just played with me again recently because I told him, I said, every time there's a situation going on when there's some cheating, it's always your ass. And he got mad, like, you tested my integrity. It's just all 5 letters. Now, true enough, I'm saying it as if, like, every time there's a question, it's something to deal with you. But he took it as me calling his character as being a cheater. So a Hava. That's what you got to think. Is the cheating in your character, or is it something that you're doing to pass the time? Is it something that's innately in you? Because a couple of weeks ago, we had a segment about, can a player truly change? And I would be a complete hypocrite if I were to say, yes, a player can truly change, and I can't sit here and say that you can't cheat and still love. Because in order for a player to change, sometimes he got to change to be with the same person that he with. He was just being a player before. Now he done chilled out. That don't mean he didn't love. That don't mean that she didn't love. I can't just say he because there's some female females are. And I have I told you gender and I wasn't supposed to in the beginning. I wanted to see if people knew it was a male or a female. But females, y'all are calculated cheaters. Like, calculated. Y'all the best at it. But again, what does that word cheat mean to you? And who's being cheated? That's always the question. And then, on another portion of what you said, I would throw in the song, like again, with Mario Winans, I Don't Want to Know. What if your significant other doesn't want to know? Then you got to ask yourself, like, damn, now, do I ask them? Is it okay? Or do I say, forget it and throw caution to the wind and just keep doing what I'm doing? Or do I just stop cheating altogether? Again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to advise you of the possibilities of things you can do. Because like I say, I still think you and your side piece going to end up together based off how you've, worded this letter that you sent in to me. I think you like that person just as much, if not more, than the significant other who you've been throwing the word marriage around with. Oh, okay. So my man Matt Seward came in from the Matt Seward band. Came and said, I just came in on it, but my opinion is love is an action. So if people cheating, it shows that the love they have or lack thereof. So he said love is an action. So you can show people how you love them. I get that. I take that. I receive that, Matt. You can show people how you love them but then again, you show them how much you do or don't love them if you're cheating on them, if you're giving them less than what you can give. If you're going to give your all, can you give your all? Man, can you? If not, then why not just give to whom you can give to and give pieces and pieces and pieces? But understand, if you're not giving your all, don't expect to receive someone else's either. Because honesty is a mother. Honesty. The truth, you know how they say the truth hurts? If the truth hurts, say ouch, because it does. So now if you just giving out pieces, expect to receive pieces back. You can't just give out rocks and expect to receive back keys. To all my hood dudes who trying to understand what I'm saying here, you can't give out little bitty pieces and expect to get back big old bricks of love, of care, of understanding, of honesty. You give what you get. That's the bottom line. Appreciate that word on that, man. China Girl 136, she said 100. And that's the truth, because people understand, like, when nobody's perfect. Okay, let's rewind. If I fish that, eat that, meat that. Nobody's perfect, right? So you can't expect people to get it right all the time. But you have to be willing to at least give people the same chances and opportunity that you would like to receive. So now if you're willing to give a second chance if somebody cheated on you, then by all means, then you can expect somebody to feel the same way. And if they don't, then you can't be mad, because everybody's not the same person. But if you think like, I can do this, but they can't, then you in for a rude awakening. Somebody gonna rip that Band-Aid off of the hairiest part of your arm. It's gonna hurt too, because it's a reality check that comes quick and fast and hard. You have to be real with yourself first. If you can't be real with you, then you can't expect nobody else to be real or expect what you're saying as being real. How somebody gonna respect you and you don't respect yourself? How somebody gonna expect somebody to be honest with you and you ain't even honest with yourself? True to you and you're not even true to yourself. The list goes on and on and on. So just like cheat is a 5-letter word, so is karma. 5 on 5. Let's play ball. I hear you, China Girl. She said reciprocity starts with me. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And that's it. Reciprocity. And if y'all ain't know what the word means, look it up. That means it's going to come back to you. It's going to reciprocate. Go listen to Lauryn Hill's first album, The Miseducation. She'll give you reciprocity. And it starts right there at the person. It starts, like I always say, like I remember when I first heard this back in the day. When you point the finger, see, either finger I point, 3 fingers point right back at you. That means me, myself, and I. That's the culprit. That's who's responsible, who started all of this. Me, myself, and I. Why, no matter how much you try to point the finger, it's you who's at the root of it. Because it's happening to you. It's happening because of you. And you're the only one who can stop it happening. So honesty, reality checks, these are things that you really have to understand going into when questioning anything about cheating. Like I say, cheat is a 5-letter word. Karma is a 5-letter word. They can go head up. Heavyweight battle. But I think karma gonna give it that little Tank Davis little hook to the ribs and break cheat on down, because karma hits harder than cheating. Karma is a result of some types of cheating. You may not even get hit with it, but somebody else next to you, somebody that you breathe on, may get hit with it. You be like, damn, that was meant for me. But you were elusive enough for the moment. You were elusive enough for it not to catch you slipping. Damn, you good? But what about look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor. I want to hear from y'all too. 702-551-5261. The hotline is wide open. I know I had a couple partners that normally call in, but one of them was like, nah, I ain't gonna know if I'm gonna call in on the day, bruh. Just because I don't know if they really gonna understand what I'm saying, get my words together, so speak on my behalf. But send me a text. Let me know what you're trying to say, and I'll let you know what's happening over here. These are real things, people. We talked about reciprocity. We talked about, honesty. We talked about, being open with yourself. What up, Unc? Talk about being open with yourself and being willing to take in that medicine that you don't want to, that you willing to hand the castor oil out to everybody. Here, open your mouth, open your mouth, open your mouth. But when it's time for you to open your mouth, when Rasputia come tell you, open your mouth, you don't want no parts of Rasputia's down your throat. Yeah, you quick to give it, but you don't want to receive it. And that's the question that you have to ask yourself. Like, how dirty am I willing to get? Because what if I'm carrying all this BS in these buckets up this hill and I slip? Now all the dirt is on me. That's right. K Solo 1911 said the mirror is hard to look at when you have to be real. Yeah, you can't always have that funhouse mirror on reality in front of you. Where everything works out in your favor. Like, if I stand this way, I got curves. Or if I stand this way, I'm swole up. Nah, get in the real mirror. The one that's in not your bathroom, in your bathroom with an F. The one that's in your bathroom that you wipe off with your towel when you're steamy up in that thing. And you think you hit that gym, but then birds start chirping as soon as you wipe the mirror clean because you didn't do it. You didn't reciprocate that weight. You didn't put in the work. You think you did. In your mind be telling you one thing, but in reality, the mirror tells you something completely different. How many people are willing to jump in the mirror and be like face to face and not break it? Most people just punch it. I can't take this shit. And punch the mirror. Now you bleeding because you don't want to face your reality. And again, you cheated yourself out of the truth. But again, back to the topic, does cheating mean you don't love yourself? If you cheating yourself, does that mean you don't love yourself? No, that does not mean I don't love myself. It just shows, like Matt Seward said, it shows the level of love or the lack thereof in that particular area. If I had to add a cherry on top of that sundae, it shows the lack thereof or the amount of love in that particular area. So in its totality, no, you don't dislove yourself because you've cheated yourself out of that last push-up, or you've cheated yourself out of that last opportunity, or you've cheated yourself out of the discipline that you were supposed to have. It's not that you don't love yourself. You just don't love yourself enough in that particular area to not cheat yourself. You don't love that person enough in that particular area to not cheat them. So Ahava, if you having this side situationship, is it because of the sex? Is it because your side piece got good vitamin D? Then maybe that's a discussion you need to have with your significant other. Or maybe you don't. Maybe that ain't what you want from them. What y'all really want from her? What you want? Maybe you don't want the D from him. You want the cuddles from him. Maybe you want the way he look at you from him. But again, are you cheating yourself? Because we know for a fact you're cheating on them, but are you cheating them out of something? If you honest with them and open to them and they okay with being loved in that way and with that level of love, then damn it, y'all in love in that way. And you're not cheating them. But my question still is, how honest are you being with everybody involved? First and foremost, you. How honest are you with you? You're the foundation of it, Ahava, or anybody else who may be facing something similar. You are the foundation of any issue. Again, those three fingers point back at you. How honest are you being with you? How much are you willing to sacrifice and lose or gain at your benefit or someone else's loss, or vice versa? Or is it a win-win? That means if it's a win-win, it's a perfect situation. Great business deal. Every business deal Learned this from my brother Cool C. Every business deal is a win-win for everybody. That's one of the things he told me back in the day. I said, okay, so something not 90, not 6, not 50, 55, 45. Nope, 50-50 is the best business deal. And I agree. The best business deal is 50-50, even Stevens, where nobody feels like they're losing. Because that's where, first and foremost, that's the thing. That's the biggest thing. People always, the biggest issue comes when somebody feels like they're losing or being left out or being cheated out of. You can cheat on somebody, but are you cheating them out of the opportunity to do the same? Are you failing them in the fact that, damn, I could have let you rock your way if I was willing to receive and accept that too? Because again, cheat is a different word than deceit. Dishonest, liar. Those are different words. Yes, they all may encompass one or another in each other. They all may be branches of each other, but they're different words for a reason because they mean different things. I can tell you the truth and be cheating with everybody in the streets, but I'm telling you about it, so I'm not a liar. So I'm not a liar and a cheater. That's just an example, But again, you have to look at the person or people with whom you are willing to sacrifice and say that you love. Because if you're talking marriage, you must at least believe somewhere inside of you that you love them and they love you equally. But are you giving each other the equal opportunity for that love? Somebody, Twin J2 said, don't get in a relationship if you want your cake and eat it too. Depend. I get that too. I get it. But again, if you're honest with all the bakers, if you honest with this baker, I can get that cake and I can eat it. I can get that cake and I can eat it if you're honest with your bakers. But are you willing to allow them to bake for somebody else? See, that'd be the biggest problem. And I don't care if it's male, female, transgender. I don't care what anybody say. The biggest problem is when people want to do one thing but don't want to receive the same thing. It's not okay. I mean, I can't say it's okay or not. I'm just saying I don't think that you're being fair to yourself, first and foremost, if you are only one-sided willing. You have to be able to be willing on both sides of the coin. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just sit there and be like, well, this is a dictatorship and it's only going my way or the highway. You're going to be on the road by yourself. Like, you have to be willing to, it's a reason why they call it the game of love or, the relationship game or whatever. Because in any game, any competition, there's an opportunity for one side to score and the other side to score. But if you're not allowing them, not even the opportunity to be able to score, that means, one, you're not giving them all the rules to the game. So that's where you're cheating. You're not the king if you ain't playing the same game. I'm not even gonna get into sports and stuff like that. You're not, the best, the Don Dada, if you playing by a certain set of rules and everybody else doesn't even have all the rules. That means you just monopolizing your opportunity based off timing and situations and availability or whatever you basing it off of. Because in reality, if you were willing to, it's like a potluck. Think of it like a potluck. If you're willing to potluck your relationships, if this is, get all these different dishes, opportunity to have all these different dishes, you also have to have people to have the opportunity to receive other dishes as well. And like Twin J2 said, most people can't handle what they dish out. And again, reciprocity. Like China Girl 136 said, it's about reciprocity. Like, are you willing to be able to be at that potluck and see somebody else's spoon in your casserole? If not, then you got to eat differently. Plan different dining experiences. One-on-ones. Get Uber Eats even. These are metaphors, of course, I'm speaking with here, but you have to be first and foremost open-minded and willing to receive everything you give out. And if that's the case, then it's no cheat. It's really no cheat code happening to the game. And if you're not willing to give the other person or persons all the rules to the game, then you got to look at your level of your level of competitiveness. Are you really that dog on the court? Are you that one? Or are you playing by a different set of rules than everybody else? So you just look good. You know, what's the art? What's the art where you look at, I think it's Monet. Is it that Monet? I think Monet, where it looked good as hell from far away. But when you get up close, it'd be like, I don't know what all this is. What's all the texture going on in this thing, you know? Again, for those of us who are just joining the podcast, who just joining the broadcast of this here today's episode of Holla at the Homie, the question is, can you love someone and still cheat? And we had a lot of interesting points, whether it be from Shatika Davis, or whether it be from Matt Seward, or whether it be from Twin J2 or China Girl 136. They've all had excellent points. One talked about like there's levels of love, you know. You know, the cheatee has to be able to understand what type of level they're being loved at. You know, the person that's being quote unquote cheated on. And then we broke down into reciprocity. That's about, are you willing to receive back that same thing by allowing them to understand and know what's going on. And we also talked about how, you know, sometimes, you know, it's not that cut and dry, but there's opportunity where, you know, the level of love is shown or the lack thereof by your actions. Cause my cousin Shabby said no. Can you love somebody and still cheat? She said no, cut and dry. I hear you, cuz. Go back and listen to the rest of the broadcast. You may change your mind a little bit, because it ain't all about just cheating on the person. Because a lot of people get caught up in those 5 letters, cheat. You know. And somebody cheating me. Because again, that goes back to this game philosophy that we lose. Because you feel like you're losing based off a disadvantage. Is someone putting you at a disadvantage? You know? True that. That's another question. Now, we ain't even touched on being in love. That's a whole nother subject. Being in love. Because being in love in itself is a whole nother frame of mind also. It's taking love to a whole nother level. That's a whole nother episode. Send me a letter about that, Twin J2. We'll answer that for you on here as well. But being in love and loving somebody, that's 2 different worlds. Same atmosphere. Atmosphere pioneer. Same atmosphere, but 2 different worlds. 2 different galaxies. You know? So, but to love somebody, you can love the hell out of somebody. Love everything about them. Love the way they smell. You love the way they walk. You love the way they treat you. You love the way they make you feel about yourself. But you may not love how they lay you down. So that's the portion in which you step out and cheat on. Again, it's about the levels of love and where you're willing to be loved in that particular area. Because again, I that's what made me ask the question to myself. If I cheat myself out of something, does it mean I don't love me? You know? And let me see what you say, cousin. She said, if you love someone, you wouldn't want them to be hurt. Their feelings, period. If you love someone, hurting them at any level is a no-go. The exclusive memories you teach them. And I get all of that. I get all of that. And again, I'm looking at it in its totality. If you're open enough with them to let them know that you are deficient somewhere and you are fulfilling that deficiency somewhere, first of all, you got to be willing to say, well, can we fulfill that deficiency? And if we cannot, is that insurmountable enough for us not to be together? Because there's certain things that certain people don't fulfill. But that doesn't mean that you don't want to be with them or be around them. You know, I may want to watch horror movies. My wife hates horror movies. I don't mean I want to be with her no more just because I want to watch a movie. I just watch it in the cave. So I'm in essence, I'm movie cheating because I'm watching something that does not include her, but that don't mean I don't love watching movies with her. You know? And it's, like I said, it's about the respect it is. It's about the respect level. How much do you respect them enough to tell them and fill them in on the blanks? Do you love them enough? Do you love you enough to be honest with them to where you won't let them be hurt? Because the hurt comes from the surprise and the unknowing. You know, the surprise and not knowing, the dishonesty is where the hurt comes from. If you truthful, Ahava, thank you for your letter again. If you truthful with your significant other, maybe you'll find the bridge in which you're looking to get over. You know, it's okay to really love you, to love other people, but you have to be honest to prevent the pain. Honesty, I'm not gonna say prevents it, because some shit still hurts, but honesty softens the blow. It really does. I don't care if people say the truth hurts. Yeah, the truth hurts, but finding out the truth through dishonesty versus finding out the truth through honesty, completely different ball of wax. Completely different ball of wax. I want to thank y'all, everybody who chimed in today. Again, Ahava, I thank you for your letter, because this was a good thought-provoking letter. And when I read it, it really made me think, like, damn, how am I going to address this? And I know my wife is listening to every damn word I'm saying. But, you know, but it's the truth about it all. It's the truth about it. And these are the things that we have to be able to discuss with each other, with as a community, as a family, you know, as friends, you know, as people's circle, or just being open and honest with it in just general practice and conversation. You know, when you are honest, I promise you, it softens the blow. So again, I want to thank everybody who chimed in. Y'all made, you know, this is episode number 4 of Holla at the Homie. We've been going 4 weeks strong. Or is it 3? 4 weeks strong. Episode 4, Holla at the Homie. And I appreciate y'all for always chiming in, tuning in, getting with me, asking your questions. We'll get the phone, making sure it's working and rocking and rolling. Because somebody just texted me, said they tried to call and they ain't come through, but I just think they was BS and pulling my chain. But, you know, again, without y'all, it wouldn't be a show. You know, so I appreciate everybody who sends in their letters at hollaattthehomie@gmail.com, HOLLAATTHAHOMIE@gmail.com. Send in your questions, or if you got my number, text me. Holla at me. So until next time, remember, it's hot7025fm.com. Download the app, jump online. Make sure you follow, tag on Instagram, Facebook. Tag us. Make sure your friends know. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate, again, everybody for coming out who came to the show. I'm acting like y'all live in person, but it feel like y'all are. But I love y'all. And until next Wednesday, HOLLAATTHAHOMIE. Holla at the Homie 360. The Atmosphere Pioneer. Greater than most, less than none. Appreciate you. Until next time. In a minute.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.